where President William Ruto cautioned cabinet secretaries and other government officials against laxity in the performance of their duties. The head of state, who said there is no room for failure, warned that those who fail to live up to the expectation will attract corrective action. The president spoke at State House in Nairobi during the signing of ministerial performance contract for the financial year 2024-2025. He exuded confidence that his government will perform despite the presence of unnamed individuals he referred to as naysayers.
It was the second time cabinet secretaries under the Kenya Kwanza administration were signing performance contracts. The signing at State House Nairobi coming against the backdrop of numerous changes in government, including a new second-in-command, Professor Kithure Kindiki. New faces under the broad-based government arrangement also took part in the exercise that seeks to ensure accountability and effective execution of tasks under various portfolios.
It will be important that as we execute our mandates, we exercise extreme humility. We also exercise integrity.
We are expected, in the context in which we exercise our mandates, to ensure that whatever commitments we make, we fulfill them.
In entering the public service, we are under an explicit and implied binding contract with the people of Kenya to perform the tasks and duties entrusted to us and manage resources under our stewardship to a specific minimum standard.
President William Ruto was clear in his speech that failure in his government is not an option.
Excellence, integrity, efficiency, and consistency will be rewarded, while failure, negligence, waste, and misconduct will promptly invite corrective action. And there is no room for failure.
He also called on the National Treasury to ensure speedy release of funds to avoid grounding government operations due to lack of funds.
Lack of funds or delay in their release should not be an excuse for failure to serve citizens.
While underscoring the importance of performance contracts, he challenged county governments yet to embrace it to take the necessary action. The president said he is confident his government will succeed despite naysayers.
And I promise you, we will confound the naysayers. This country will not fail. This great nation that God has given us will succeed. The enemies of Kenya will be put to shame.
President William Ruto has called on all government agencies to work together towards ensuring that the Kenya Kwanza agenda is achieved fully, saying that there is no room for failure. Nancy Okware, reporting from State House, Nairobi.
In other news, President William Ruto has bid goodbye to outgoing U.S. Ambassador to Kenya, Meg Whitman. The president hailed Whitman's tenure as President Biden envoy to Nairobi as a transformational period, saying she was a great champion of Kenya's cause and interest in the United States. He cited the elevation of Kenya to the status of a major non-NATO ally by President Biden in May this year as a sign of a high point for relations between Nairobi and Washington that have existed for 60 years. Whitman resigned from her post last week, days after former President Donald Trump was declared the winner of the 2024 U.S. presidential election. She has been in Kenya for 2 years, having served since August of 2022. Trump is expected to name her replacement once his government takes shape. In other news, as part of the ongoing probe into the 2.2 billion shillings graft scandal at Moi University, the Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission, EACC, has summoned 4 University Council members to appear before it over the matter. The latest development coming a day after Moi University's Vice-Chancellor Isaac Koskei was summoned by EACC to explain claims of embezzlement through fraudulent infrastructural projects, which has polarized operations at the institution.
Following public growing outcry on the state of Moi University, the anti-graft body EACC has tightened the noose on suspected claims of theft of over 2 billion shillings. EACC has today summoned 4 University Council members to appear before it to provide answers on the matter. The 4 suspects, together with the university's Vice-Chancellor Isaac Koskei, are expected to appear in person at the Commission's North Rift Regional Office in Eldoret this Wednesday for questioning and statement recording. Additionally, EACC in a letter has requested original copies of specific documents, including procurement plans and approved budgets for financial years 2016 to the current financial year. The university has been entangled in a protracted dispute regarding debts exceeding 8 billion shillings, which have led to disruption in learning activities due to strikes by lecturers and staff protesting against the administration's handling of financial matters. Meanwhile, Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission officials have arrested 2 suspects who allegedly attempted to extort 2 million shillings from a Director General of a state corporation. In a statement, EACC spokesperson Eric Ngumbi confirmed that following receipt of the complaint, the Commission mounted an operation last Friday, leading to the arrest of the 2 suspects, Francis Onyango and Abigail Janai. The 2 were nabbed in a Nairobi hotel after receiving 1.7 million shillings, being part of the 2 million shillings they had demanded from the State Corporation Director General in order to withdraw a petition filed in court for alleged embezzlement of public funds at the State Corporation.
The corridors of Parliament now, where the National Assembly is considering a bill that will allow adjustment of pensions earned by all retired public servants as per the cost of living. The Pension Amendment Bill currently before National Assembly Social Protection Committee also seeks to provide for the use of the most current salary as the basis for the calculation of the pensions payable to retirees. Appearing before the Alice Nganga Committee, the National Treasury, however, requested Parliament to hold on to the bill to allow the Treasury to complete an actuarial study of the review of pensions set to be done by the end of December.
As Kenyans continue feeling the pinch of the high cost of living, Matuga MP Tandaza Sawa now seeks to caution retirees by amending the law on pension. The Pension Amendment Bill, currently before the National Assembly Social Protection Committee, seeks to allow an automatic cost of living adjustment to the pensions earned by all retired public servants. Further, the bill seeks to provide for the use of the most current salary as the basis for the calculation of the pensions.
Keeping it the way it is, that one will be paid his retirement benefits based on his last salary, 15 years, if we're still alive, actually puts our Kenyan people, our civil servants who work diligently in a situation where it is very pathetic.
People, I'm sure, get scared when they're approaching retirement, and they look at how they've worked and they look at what they're going to earn. I think people get tempted to say, I think now it is the sun is shining, let me prepare the hay.
The National Treasury, however, wants Parliament to hold on to the bill, awaiting an ongoing actuarial study on pensions review. The Treasury is concerned the enactment of the bill will occasion additional expenditure of public funds.
Even in terms of the bill that is proposed, our only request was that for a holistic approach, the advice we will receive from the recommendations of the actuarial valuation would be valuable. It might affect beyond what has been proposed by Honorable Tagaza.
Seeing Carol, the Kenya Association of Retired Officers, cry before a parliamentary committee is a bad indictment, even on the plans of government.
Meanwhile, the Petroleum Institute of East Africa now wants Parliament to harmonize multiple licenses and permits imposed by the county and national governments which has created adverse challenges to the industry.
And we have exemptions of the petroleum sector, given that it's regulated, in the ad hoc introduction of levies and licenses that are duplication.
On the unification of the charges that are levied by the county governments, look at the act that is in place, look at what it has failed to address, so that we can see how do we accommodate that in the operationalization in terms of the regulations.
The petroleum outlets groups were appearing before the Senate's Energy Committee to deliberate on challenges facing the industry.
Elsewhere, the Office of the Data Protection Commissioner, ODPC, in collaborations with Amnesty International, is pushing for an amendment of Data Protection Act to enhance data protection in Kenya. Speaking during the celebrations to mark 5 years since Kenya obtained the Data Protection Act, ODPC Data Commissioner Immaculate Kasait said Kenya has made significant strides in dealing with data breaches and violations since the Act was signed into law. As Timothy Kipnus reports, Kenya is among 36 countries in the African continent that has Data Protection Act.
On Tuesday, stakeholders charged with the responsibility of data protection converged in Nairobi to reflect on the milestone the country has achieved as well as the bottlenecks. 5 years since Kenya signed into law the Data Protection Act 2019. It is here that it emerged that Kenya has made tremendous strides in dealing with data breaches and violations.
As a country, we are trailblazing in terms of having an independent office, which is a very important aspect. And the importance of the independent office is to guarantee the public trust in case there are any complaints on data protection, to ensure that they are taken seriously.
ODPC Data Commissioner Immaculate Kasait saying our office has so far handled more than 7,000 complaints relating to data breaches.
The biggest complaint, of course, have been around digital lenders, and we have completed the complaint. We have issued several determinations, penalty notices, and we continue to do so as an office.
She, however, urged Kenyans not to hesitate to report any cases of data violation to ODPC. Kasait said ODPC's capacity building and scaling up campaigns to enable Kenyans understand the importance of protecting and safeguarding their personal data.
And what we've seen over the last 5 years is really a strident approach taken by the Office of the Data Protection Commissioner that has sought to create compliance not from the position of threats and intimidation, but really from the idea of creating a culture that respects the right to privacy.
We are looking at the Data Protection Act, we are identifying the gaps, and definitely in the new year we'll propose an amendment bill to both the Data Protection Act and to the regulations to ensure that we scale data protection compliance in Kenya.
While acknowledging the numerous challenges our office is facing, Kasait said they are determined to deal with emerging challenges, especially cases of cyber threats, noting that dealing with them will boost investor confidence, hence boosting trade, especially with the European Union and other nations.
One of the challenges that we see, of course, today is the advancement in new technology that we see as a challenge. Because with AI, we all have to begin asking ourselves in terms of guardrails, how can we make sure that the issue around data privacy is enhanced?
Kenya, being among the 36 countries in Africa enjoying the privilege of having the Data Protection Act, is indeed a step in the right direction, particularly made by the Office of the Data Protection Commissioner, ensuring the data of Kenyans are protected.
Moving on, the ongoing public participation exercise on proposed tax amendment bills has stirred mixed reactions in Mombasa County, with a section of residents expressing their dissatisfaction with the bills, arguing that the changes would impose a heavier financial burden on ordinary citizens. The National Assembly Department Committee on Finance and National Planning encountered stiff opposition from participants who demanded clear justifications for the proposed amendments. The committee, however, assured residents that their feedback would be incorporated into the final decision-making process. The proposed amendment bills includes Business Law Amendment Bill of 2024, Tax Procedures Amendment Bill 2024, Tax Laws Amendment Bill 2024, among others.
Kwa hivyo the more mkiti tax, the more iweke sheria average salary ya mwananchi asikubali chini ya himo na ifatiliziwe. Although tunasema tu iko, najua iko, lakini haiko implemented. Tunaumizwa sana.
Taxation from gratuity to payments. Naona hapa mimi nilipo retire najua 240 ndio ilikuwa mmepata tax free, lakini hapa mme increase to 360. Mambo yalivyo sasa na hali ya uchumi katika nchi yetu, naomba badala kwa 360 iwe 500,000. Taxation ianze from 500,000.
Mostly watu wafanya public participation, na at the end of the day vitu vinapitishwa, hata kama zile ambazo tujapitisha tukija tukiangalia tuwapata zimepitishwa. Since leo ndo first time naona kama bunge la finance liko hapa na wazee wa mitaa na machifu ambao wako hapa. Je, hii safari hii hata zile tulizopinga zitakubalika?
Nataka kuhakikishia hata sasa masuala ambayo Wakenya wameweza kuyasema yanafaa kurekebishwa, tutahakikisha ya kwamba tumepiga huu mswada msasi kabisa kuhakikisha mambo ambayo yanakasirisha Wakenya, ambayo hayatakuwa na tatizo, ambayo yataongezea cost of doing business, tunaweza kuyatoa katika ripoti yetu. Na utaona tutahakikisha kwamba tumeyatoa.
Two students undertaking Internet of Things IoT and robotic studies at the Rift Valley Institute of Business Studies have developed a security system that uses global system for mobile communication GSM and guards against theft, toxic gas leaks, fires, intrusion and prying in residential premises. The innovation leverages science and technology, reassuring home and business owners of the safety of their property.
The creation is an automated anti-theft system that works by notifying the owner when there is an intruder in a home, as it is fitted with motion detectors and sensors. Since the innovation is computerized, users are able to access the security system from wherever they are.
In our home, we have data. And as we all know, data is prone to hacking and everything. So we need to understand more of the cybersecurity aspect, more to protect our data. So the data which is being monitored from your home should also be protected.
A microcontroller constantly monitors all sensors, and upon detection of a threat, a message is sent to the user's phone through Global System for Mobile Communication modem. Further, the anti-theft system has also been equipped with a smoke sensor that detects gas leaks and noxious fumes in the house, particularly the kitchen, that then alerts the occupants through a buzz or a remote control device to ensure safety.
In our kitchen, we also have the same thing, an IR sensor. It is used to trigger the lights in the kitchen. And one feature that we decided to add for safety purposes is a smoke sensor or air quality sensor.
The innovators plan to release their creation to the market next year after completion of a series of tests. The innovation was found viable through a pilot project conducted at a residential estate and has been installed in 3 homes which are being monitored.
On home automation, first of all is to make a simple and scalable prototype to show people that it is possible.
Experts in the science and technology field urge the government to ramp up investments in science, technology, engineering and mathematics subjects to drive up the country's economic development. Ndutamo Kami for Prime Edition.
Shifting gears to sports now, the national men's soccer team Harambee Stars drew 0-0 in Namibia in their final Group J qualification match of the 2025 Africa Cup of Nations, which was played yesterday at Peter Mokaba Stadium, Polokwane, South Africa.
Harambee Stars had already been bundled out of the qualification for the 2025 Africa Cup of Nations finals after a 1-1 draw against Zimbabwe last Friday, as the Warriors booked their ticket alongside Cameroon as runners-up in Group J.
3 o'clock in South Africa, where we're playing this game. Kenya against Namibia.
Kenya wound up third with 6 points after the goalless draw against Namibia, who finished last with 2 points after earning another point during their barren draw with Cameroon. The indomitable Lions topped the group with 14 points after a 2-1 defeat of Zimbabwe, who wrapped their campaign with 9 points. Morocco will host the 35th edition of Africa's Premier Soccer Competition from 21st of December 2025 through to January 18th, 2026. Kenya will now wait until 2027 to return to the Africa Cup of Nations, having qualified automatically as co-hosts alongside Uganda and Tanzania.
And the referee comes over to have a little word.
And Bunge FC is targeting to win the soccer title, among others, at this year's East Africa Community Interparliamentary Games, scheduled for the 6th to the 18th of December this year in Mombasa. This year's games will see members of parliament battle for top honors in not only soccer, but volleyball, basketball, athletics, netball, and darts for persons with disabilities as well.
Bunge FC will be out to end the wait for the soccer title when they take to the pitch in front of their home fans at the 14th edition of the East Africa Community Interparliamentary Games. At the two previous editions of the Games, Bunge has come close to winning the title twice. They finished first runners-up in 2022 and in third place in 2023.
Tunatarajia kutuzwa. Uzuri wa kucheza nyumbani kutoka na ule 12th man. Kama mashabiki. Namba mbili, wale wabunge wengine ambao mara mingi unapata hawezi kusafiri, niko na uhakika kwamba mwaka huu utakuwa nao, sababu mara mingi unapata mtu yuko na shughuli fulani tofauti, wabunge wanakosa kusafiri, lakini round hii na uhakika kwamba tutaweza kusafiri na tutakuwa na team full, tutakuwa na full squad.
If there's a match I'm looking forward to, it is a Uganda game, because they have really been a thorn in our flesh. It's been a long time since we last beat them. The other year we drew. Last year they beat us 1-0. This year we hope to, and I am certain we will down them.
Sasa fitness ya members iko juu. Tuko na timu sasa karibu seti 3. Tuko na enough members wa kucheza. Sasa ninatumaini kwamba tutabeba kikombe.
Bidii yetu ya kuja kucheza pamoja kila siku kwa wiki, hiyo ni kumaanisha kwamba mtu atalala wakati tunaenda kucheza.
The team has intensified its training in readiness for the Yana Games by playing a series of friendly matches with top league sides.
So we are looking for the opportunity to train with people who can make us run and gain the match fitness faster. If we get younger men, they'll be more quicker, so it'll be a bit more difficult for us to play more. So that's why we are sticking with the ladies.
Mwaka uliopita tulikuwa na upinzani mkubwa kutoka kwa Uganda, lakini mwaka huu na vile ulisikia tulikuwa na injuries kwa tegemeo, kwa wale ambao walikuwa tegemeo. Other than that pia tumepata watu ambao wamejoin team kama huyu Mogaka mnamuona hapa, tuko na Barongo, tuko na Cherorot hapa, tuko na Zair Janda, tuko na huyu anaitwa Engoko.
Mwaka huu nadhani kwa sababu sisi ndio host, nadhani hatutaweza kuaibisha taifa letu. Kwa hivyo tuko tayari na tutapeperusha bendera yetu juu.
6 countries, Rwanda, Burundi, South Sudan, Tanzania and Uganda, have confirmed participation in this year's games, which seek to promote cohesion and integration among member countries.
Our biggest trader actually huwa ni Uganda, na tunahope kufanya the same na Tanzania na Southern Sudan na Ethiopia, wako na economy kubwa. Kwa hiyo unanuia kulete watu pamoja ndipo tuweze kuwa na trade mzuri sisi wenyewe.
Sisi kama Wakenya ni wakarimu sana. Wakati kutoka Juba, umetoka kule Dar es Salaam, umetoka Kampala, umetoka kule Kigali, wewe kujua kwamba Wakenya ni wakarimu, na ukarimu wetu utaujua kwa zile mabao ambayo tutamimina.